From our terminologies, let's now talk about VPS. VPS is basically virtual private server, where you can rent a service or server as a service, a virtual machine as a service. So basically on a cloud, using infrastructure as a service, you can rent a server and utilize it for whatever activity you want. So let's go to these sites, register.com, GoDaddy Network Solutions, or we can talk about other cloud solutions as well. So here you can get register your domain names. So in the previous exercise, for let's say when we talked about the phishing exercise, what we want is we can go on to register.com, or we can go on to GoDaddy.com, and we can purchase a particular domain. For example, something like this. Instead of the O's, I'm typing in a couple of zeros for the Facebook, and let's see if anything of that is available. Now, something.photo is available, or facetips.com is available. There are other options that are making over here that they're giving us over here. And once we purchase this, we can then have our own hosting with a web hosting as a service. And we can have a Linux-based hosting or a Windows-based hosting, depending on what you want. And that's where your shared hosting comes into the picture. If you just want, if you want to look at a virtual server and you want to rent a server over there itself, you can move on to rackspace.com, and here in your services, you can have physical server or a virtual server in a public cloud. Your other cloud providers, for example, would be Amazon, AWS, and on AWS, you can basically look at EC2, Elastic Compute Cloud, which is basically virtual servers in the cloud. And over here, you can rent out a server with whatever capacity you require. You'll obviously have to pay the rent for what those servers are going to cost. But once you have those servers, you can then launch any services on top of it. Looking at other services that we have, we talked about Tor. Tor is a onion routing software that allows users to browse the web anonymously. So we can just go online and we can try to spoof our identity, and I'm going to show you how. So I've got a VMware workstation right here, so we're just going to pull that up, and we're going to power on a Windows 7 machine, where we're going to look at the onion routing. So our Windows machine has booted up. We're just going to log in, and this is my Windows 7 machine. Now I've got a Chrome browser right here, and we're going to go to a website called cmyip.com, which is going to give the IP address that I'm currently using. So right now I'm not connected to any VPN or anything, and you can see that's my IP address that I'm utilizing. Now, if I want to anonymize myself, what I'm going to do is I am going to use Tor, and that's the Tor browser that's set up right there. If I click on it, it's going to open up the software, and it's going to create a new network, and it's going to connect to the Tor network and allow me to anonymize myself. Right, so that's the Tor browser opening up and giving me a new browser over here. So I've got one, which is the old one, which is my current IP address. If I just refresh that, you'll see that I'm still on the same IP address as far as this browser is concerned. There's a refresh, and it's still showing me the same IP address. Where if I go on to Tor right now, and if I go to cmyip.com, you will see that it is going to give me, and you can see the amount of time it is taking to reach that site. That's because I am using a VPN, and there's a lot of encryption running off, and you can see now I'm suddenly connected via Hong Kong. And even to reach this site, what Tor does is it gives me a proxy chain. A proxy chain is where it creates multiple hops to hide my identity, and before I reach cmyip.com, I am using 3 different IP addresses over here. One in France, one in Germany, and one in Hong Kong. So if I do something over here to trace back my steps to my actual IP address, the law enforcement agencies or anyone who's going to search, like a forensic investigator, would have to go through these IP addresses before they come back to me. Now, it's not impossible, but the effort and time that's going to be taken to come across 3 different countries is going to be phenomenal. So it may just defeat the purpose of having so much resources spent to identify who did what. So that's what Tor does for us.